Okay, so I'm going to be putting the recording again on the platform. I believe that, these things are going to be played for the children. These things will come to them. They will listen to it, and I believe that it will make a lot of sense, and it will help their decisions. It will help the action. If you're a child and you're on this platform, I want to say thank you for being here. Um, this is the place where we talk about so many things. And today, permit me to kickstart by talking about what I've titled Leading with Purpose as a Child. Is it possible for me to lead as a child? Is it possible for me to become an effective leader as children for us? Is it possible for me to become an effective leader as a child? What does leadership really mean? Especially for me as a child. I think I'm too small to be able to lead. I think I don't have big stature. It is only people that have big stature that can lead. Even in my class, I can't lead because possibly I'm the smallest. Or maybe I've heard before that we are the leaders of tomorrow, that it is tomorrow which never comes that we are supposed to lead. We need to allow the elderly to lead today before we can be leading later. Well, I want to say that while that may be the reality, that may not be the truth, because the truth of the matter is that a leader is a leader no matter the age. You see, when God was talking to Jeremiah in the Bible, and he was telling him that I have made you a prophet before you were formed in your mother's womb. The response of Jeremiah is that I am a youth. I am small. I don't match up to what you are saying to me. And you know the response of God? God asked him to keep quiet, that he is not a youth. And what that tells me is the fact that leadership has no age limit. Just like when you see followership, or people that are bad leaders, most of them, whatever we know them for, they got into it right when they were young. So it is very important to understand the concept of leadership as a child. And by saying as a child, what do I mean? Maybe you are in your teenage years, or you are in your preteen year. Preteen is from age 9 to age 12. Maybe that is your age. Or maybe you are still in elementary phase of life. That is between the age of 6 . Maybe you are between the age of 6 and 9. You need to understand that is elementary age. No matter the stage of life that you belong, let me say from 6-year-old, you have to understand. And there are so many examples of this that I'm talking about. People that emerge leaders in their sector, in their industry, in politics, in governance, in Christendom, in Christian leadership, in religious leaders, political leaders, industry leaders, educational leaders, or academic leaders. Check when they started. They started when they were young. When they were young. So it is very important, like I often say, to see yourself as a leader and understand that you have a purpose. The reason why a lot of children don't see leadership in themselves is because there is no purpose that is tied to the leadership. Everything they know about leadership is function. You are a leader, so you must lead. What does that mean? It means that you must take the larger share of whatever it is. You must direct people, tell them to go this way, tell them to go this way. And when you look at this, the leadership concept in our schools, in secondary school, for example, where they choose prefect, the prefects are chosen so that they can direct others. Oh, is the labor prefect. That means it should be the one to take them when there is something that has to do with labor. He is the dining prefect. That means he must be the one directing. You go to this place, go there. He is the laboratory prefect. That means he's the one that ensure that, oh, everybody when they're in the lab, they conduct themselves. So everything we know about leadership has a lot to do with function. But function is not where leadership starts from. Leadership starts with purpose. Purpose. What do we mean by purpose? The reason for a thing, the meaning, the reason behind, the motive behind something that is being done. What is the purpose of this child mentorship program? To prepare children for the future, to raise their consciousness, their skill, their abilities, their vision and values right now, so that it begins to yield to them in the next 3-4 years. So they don't get to become 30 years of age and they are asking, what do I want to do with my life? That is the purpose for this. What is the purpose for going to school? To become a solution provider, to develop the thinking faculty, the thinking process of every student, so that when people are confronted with challenges, we can use the tool and the factor of creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. You see, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. A lot of people that find themselves in abusive situations or find themselves being abused, it is most times due to lack of purpose. Their attention is always on function. Never for once have they sat down to ask, what is the purpose for this thing? I like citing the example of Jesus Christ at 12. He said, is there not a purpose? Is there not a cross? Must I not be about my Father's business? This is very important. As a child, I want you to understand that the age that you are right now, it is very, very critical and important for you to start thinking about your leadership potential. Your leadership potential will not come to fruition. It will not come to reality when you are 20 years of age. It will not come to reality when you are 25. It will not come to reality when you are 30. Your leadership potential starts from now. Maybe you are 8-year-old. Maybe you are 9 as you are listening to me. Or maybe you are 12-year-old. I want you to understand that you can be a leader. Let me go on. I said, who is a leader? Who is a leader? And I want to show you a video. I hope you can follow me carefully in this video. Watch the video. So what is this trying to speak about? There is a big tree that fell on the road and it caused a lot of traffic. But that is the governor of the state. And they are trying to lobby that governor. But look at that young boy. He came down from one of the buses. Look at the number of cars that were there. Look at how that boy is going. You can even see how people are arguing. Look at the governor negotiating his way out of the big tree. To make the matter worse, rain started falling. Look at the people that meant to guard the place. You see, the governor find his way out, left the people and subjected them to this. But look at this boy. The boy took up the responsibility and he said to himself, I can do something. Look at how some people are even looking at him and they are laughing. But look at it, not long ago, the boy began to catch the attention of people. But look at the set of people that followed him. They were the age group, age bracket of that boy. But see, because they didn't go, they were able to amass followership. Look at what that boy has created. We can correct what is wrong in our society. And so, look at it. The boy, because of his bravery, courage, and his leadership potential, he moved everybody to go in his cause. Somehow, they all believed in him, and they were able to lift the tree, and then they moved it away from the road, and then they were able to move. As simple as this short movie is, this is very powerful. Look at it. It's the one that they made reference to. Look at the police that are supposed to ensure order. They were there. This story is typical. Look at him. He's a small boy, but he has performed the leadership potential. He has done what many people cannot do. This is what we call leadership. Many times in my physical training, I used to ask this question: who is the leader in this video? And a lot of people will say, that boy. I said, that is the truth. So if that boy can be a leader, in other words, he inspired that number of people to carry the challenge, to carry the big tree that is on the road. He inspired them to take it away. If that boy can do that, how much more you? Yes, you listening to me. How come you think you are too small to be able to take up a leadership potential? How come you think you are too small? Oh, my mommy said when I finish university, that is when I will start life. My daddy said, face your book first. When you are through with school, that is when you can now look for a job. Well, that is not the order again now. We are no longer in the time when children have to leave university. That is when they start looking for job. That is if there is job. However, right from age 10, age 12, I need young people who will take up leadership positions, who will look at their lives and tell themselves, oh, I want a good life, and I want to start early so that I can get to stardom early. I want to start early so that I can touch life for long. I mean, there's somebody that I always use as an example. Bill Gates started Microsoft at the age of 12. 12-year-old boy. At age 12, a lot of children in Nigeria are still in GSS 3. That's GSS 3, GSS 2. However, a child started Microsoft, the tool that enables me to use this PowerPoint that I'm showing you right now, this slide that I'm using right now. I designed it with Microsoft PowerPoint. The brain behind it started that company at the age of 12. He started it at 12. That is to tell you something. Early to start, early to stardom. If you don't start early, whatever comes at any time, you should be ready for it. If you start early, you will have prepared yourself, and the world will notice you early enough. You see, there is a recognition, an award that is called Forbes 30 under 30. I'll say it again. Forbes 30 under 30. Every year, Forbes used to recognize 30 people in Africa that are doing great and mighty things, but they are less than 30-year-old. Oh, yes. And there was a year, that was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. I follow it every year because, you know, it helps me. I just read about them so that when I have the privilege to have a one-on-one session with children, I have a lot of examples to give them. So I always follow Forbes 30 under 30. And, you know, you can confirm this thing I'm saying. You can go on Google and type Forbes 30 under 30. The idea is that we recognize 30 Africans. They do it also in other continents, but I know I follow the Africa well because we're in Africa. So whatever happens to Africans, I think it's very important for me to know so that I don't have an excuse for not doing what I'm meant to do. So I noticed that in 2018, all the 30 under 30 in 2018, and there are 2 Nigerians, all of them, they started doing what got them that award. They started between age 15 and age 18. So one person is known for construction. Imagine the CEO of a construction company in Nigeria is less than 30-year-old, and he started at age 16. I didn't say in South Africa, I didn't say America, I didn't say Europe. I'm talking about somebody that started construction company at 16-year-old in Nigeria. And by the time he was 26, 10 years later, he has done, because one of the criteria to consider you as Forbes 30 under 30 is that your business have nothing less than $200 million. Sorry, $220 million. No, sorry, $2 million in your account back then. It's moving now. But that person has done between the range of $200,000 and $2 million. That is, before we can be talking about considering you as part of the 30 under 30 in Africa, your business and maybe yourself, you should have done something. Your impact, your products, and the things that you put out there should have given you something in the range of $200,000 to $2 million. So a 26-year-old boy in 2018 was worth something more than $200,000. But that's not the thing. He's building massive buildings, getting contracts from different people. 26-year-old is coordinating engineers, is coordinating people, is the chief executive officer of a major construction company in Nigeria. Another one is 28-year-old who started business at 14. I said there must be a correlation between these things. If you want to confirm some of these things I'm talking about, just type Forbes 30 under 30, and then you see the name. And once you see their name, just take their name and go to Wikipedia. Their names are there, and they try to give you the autobiography of these people, or they try to give you their profile so you understand what I'm saying. I discovered that most of the 30 under 30 that I always read about, none of them started what they were doing at 25. None of them. Nobody started it at 25. They started early. I mean, we are all on Facebook, or maybe you children may not be on Facebook, but the owner of Facebook launched there's something we call initial public offering, where shareholders, investors bring money, and then somebody sells the equity, is equity from a business. Facebook equity was sold when Mark Zuckerberg was 21-year-old. He launched his IPO at 21. The following day, on his 21st birthday, the following day, he became a billionaire in dollars. 21-year-old. Now, I'm not trying to talk about the monetary part, but the monetary part is also very important. I'm trying to tell you what happens when you start early, when you start taking the leadership position, when you start taking the bull by the horn early enough. And you know, I'm so happy because this thing is on record. So it's not only, you are not only the one that will be listening to me, possibly your parents will also be listening to me as I'm speaking right now. You see, there is something about Serena Williams and Venus Williams. There is something about Gareth Bale. There is something about Lionel Messi. There is something about Cristiano Ronaldo. All the people that we know today that are high achievers in different industries, sports, business, name it, most of them are renowned and they are known because of the time that they started. Serena Williams and Venus Williams were being trained by their father at the age of 3 to play lawn tennis. There is something about the girls that makes the father left the work and decided to focus on those children. In the morning, they will play. In the afternoon, they will play. In the evening, they will play. And somehow, when they were 18 and 21 respectively, they were the world number 1. They caught the attention of the world at the prime. See, let me tell you, if anybody tells you that your prime is 40-year-old, that person is lying. Oh, yes. Based on how you start, your prime is actually between the age of 21 and 29. By the time you are 30, you're already a king. By the time you are 31, you are already global. You are everywhere. A 31-year-old that just graduated, and you ask him, what do you want to do? He said, I'm looking for a job. The problem is the fact that check what he was doing when he was between age 12 and age 16. Check. Possibly he was just going to school, come back home, go to school, come back home, go to school, come back home. I don't want you to be like that. I want you to start your leadership journey early. Early to start, early to stardom. There is a school in the north called the Barewa College. Barewa College is a secondary school, and it was discovered that that school has produced 28 governors and 5 presidents of this Nigeria. One school produced 28 governors. How many presidents do we really have in the country? But one school. And one of the things that was discovered is the leadership capacity, leadership ability that has been ingrained in those children when they were in secondary school, in their teenage years. Instead of chasing after girls, they were building them. They were developing their capacity. They were developing them to become somebody. They were developing them on all ramifications. Listen to me. I want you to take your leadership journey serious going forward. Enough of, I want to watch cartoon. You are 12, you are 13, and you are still sitting down and you are still gallivanting on, I want to watch cartoon. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch, but maybe it should just be 1 or twice in a week. And you can have time to be able to study about leaders. You see, in my physical training, I always ensure, and in my one-on-one, and even during the course of our child mentorship program, I'm going to take you through the great speeches, and I'm going to be analyzing it for you. In order for you, my aim is to make sure that you can speak in the public, and you can use the charm of great speakers to be able to command the attention of thousands of people. I said, sit down and watch the speech that brought Obama in as a president against all odds. If you think he just became president because the people liked him, no. He became president. The people liked him because he did certain things. And so anytime I'm analyzing it for younger generation, the children in their 10s and 15s, by the time I begin to analyze it, they are surprised. They are shocked. And I begin to tell them, I said, please take it up early. You will not say what you don't know. It is not possible. You will always communicate to people based on your level of knowledge. Start reading. Start studying. And when I'm talking about study, there's mathematics, there's physics, there's chemistry, there's integrated science, there's basic science, there's religion and national value, civic education. That is in school. There should be 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teenagers. It's the book that I'm using to train in my church. By the grace of God, I'm a children's church teacher in my church. It's the book that I'm using to teach the teenagers, to be able to equip them, to help them, to be able to get something done, to be able to do things for themselves. And you know what? During the course of this also, I'm going to be taking us through the book. I said, take it up, read, make your life extraordinary. I'm telling you, you see, your childhood is short and your adulthood is long. Childhood is short, adulthood is long, very long. I'm telling you, I'm sorry to say it this way, but how many years is from age 2 to 18? That's just 16 years. 16 years. If you think 16 years is long, add 16 to 18. That's just 34. You see, I am 40-year-old. I'm a 40-year-old man. I remember when I was 16. I remembered when I was 16-year-old. I finished secondary school at 16. I remembered when I was 16. But what I'm remembering vividly right now is 24 years ago. That is more than the first 18 years of some people. Childhood is short. Adulthood is long. In your lifetime, if you want to live to your 70, 80, you will run the cycle of your childhood 5 times. The first 18 years of your life is referred to as your childhood. If you take the next 18 years, you are going to be 36. If you take the next 18 years, you are going to be 54. That's the second cycle. If you take the next 18 years, you are going to be 72. Look at it. 18 years, you are still alive. 18 years. The fourth 18 years is when you are going to be 90. Look at it. But what you do in the first 18 years will explain the next 18 years. 18. Is it that amazing? I need you to see from this thing the way to make your life extraordinary. Make up your mind that you are going to live a life of impact, influence, and income. An extraordinary life that makes you live legacy. But it doesn't happen when you are 25. It happens at this age. You are a teenager, you are in preteen years. That is when it should happen. I'm telling you, that is when it should happen. I'm recording this because I'm going to play it for my children too. I have 2 children. This is very important. Please, I want to beg you, take it serious. Who is the leader? The leader is the person that initiates, that inspires. Initiates, like you have in that video. The boy initiated it. Oh yes, this is so critical. This is so important. Become the leader. Become the leader. So I have 2 questions that I want you to ruminate about, that I want you to think about as we go today. Number one, ask yourself this question. Do I have capacity for leadership? In other words, can I be a leader? Honestly ask yourself and ask 3 people around you. Please ask yourself and ask 3 people around you. Can I be a leader? I'm speaking to you right now, not as a child. I'm speaking to you right now as a potential. Can I? Ask your dad. Ask your mom. Ask your sister. Ask your teacher. Ask when you get to school. Ask your head teacher. Ask your school leader. Sir, can I be a leader? Whatever they say, note it. The second question, what am I doing currently that will make me a leader? What are you doing? Are you reading? Because leaders are readers. Readers are leaders also. How I know that you are bringing out the leadership inside of you is in the way you read. If you don't read anything, you can't be a leader, because it means you can't know more than others. But if you know more than others, it is impossible for you to remain at the back. It is impossible. I thank God for my life. Thank God for the things that I'm doing, that I've been able to do so far, and things that I will still do. But one of the things that I know that is helping is the fact that I subject myself to intense literature. It is literature that guarantees future. It is literature that guarantees future. A future can be seen, but I can tell you, until you add literature to what you see, to the picture that you have, you don't have a future. Until you add literature to your picture, you don't have a future. Even though you have heard it before that the future you don't picture is the one you don't feature. However, literature is what brings about future. This is very profound, and this is very important. I am going to stop here for you to ask these two questions, and then we come back again tomorrow to be able to continue our discourse. I hope you enjoyed this, and please make up your mind. In this series that I'm running right now, take it upon yourself and tell yourself, I am going to become someone. I want to live an extraordinary life, and I want to start now. I want to start here, and I want to start now. Tell yourself, I will start now, and I will start here. See you, everybody. I want to thank you for being here again, and I will see you tomorrow by God's grace.